Welcome to day 88 of Mastering Astral Projection. The technique for today is the floating turn exit technique again. And so we'll go over this one more time just to make sure you got it. You raise your left leg up and out of your body. And then you bring it back down. Then you raise your right leg up and above and out of your body. And then you bring it back down. And then you raise both legs up and out of your body. And then you bring them back down. Then you do the same thing with your arms. And then you do the same thing with arms and legs together. And so when you hold them out of your body, you're holding them for 10, 20 seconds, whatever feels comfortable for you. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to make sure that you can feel your energy body moving out of your physical body. So I think a while back that I'd started doing this because I'd come up with a technique that was working really well for me. I had mentioned, hinging the energy body at the knees and then moving the legs out, and then hinging at the hips and the feet, and then moving the knee out. And so it's basically the exact same thing. The difference is at the end, you're turning both the arms and the legs at 90 degrees to the body, and then you're doing a rollout to the right into the arms and legs. It doesn't necessarily need to be to the right too. You could do it to the left, whichever feels right for you. So, and you keep doing this for a minute or so. Keep repeating it over and over until you can actually feel the body moving out. Brian talked about something that I thought was worthwhile. He said, consider devoting a larger portion of your nights in bed to honing a single skill. So you could pick anything. It could be breathing, or going to the brow center, or raising energy, or doing meditation, or a particular exit technique that you want to just keep working on until you feel the body going in that direction. And just pick one and just do it until you go to sleep. I thought that was a pretty good idea. I didn't even work on exit techniques today. I was just focusing on raising the energy levels of my primary energy centers, and feeling doing the energy raising exercise, and doing energy body loosening, because it feels like, I don't know, the people on the forum were kind of indicating that maybe more practice could be done in those areas to get to the point where I can loosen my energy body and have my consciousness go away with it, so I could do my projected body double and get it to leave my body with my consciousness. But I think there's something else in the way. It's either like a voodoo curse, or I have no brain, or I'm not sure what it is. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, though. Out of the book, they're talking about astral tubes. They say that the astral tubes are related to higher than usual brow and crown primary center activity, and this indicates natural clairvoyant ability. But basically, a lot of projectors find themselves in tubes. They could be tubes of smoke, or tubes of colors. They generally have grid lines. And as you move through the tubes, they can also be the gateway between astral realms. If you want, and if you're moving through a tube, and you can do this with your mind's eye too, because there have been plenty of movies that have shown these tubular effects, and so you could just imagine it yourself and start moving through the tubes, and it's kind of a fun exercise. But in the astral realm, if you want to go from one astral realm to another, and you're using the tubes as a means for transportation, you basically just will yourself to stop at a particular place in a tube, into bringing your focus or attention into the perpendicular direction of the tube, and just go out the side of it, and it'll project you into another astral realm. So that's a way to use the astral tubes to change astral environments. He said sometimes you hear musical tones, and he also said they're much like the vortex in the sci-fi television series Sliders. I don't watch television, so I don't know what that's like. And basically your intuition will tell you when you've reached an area that you want to project into. Another thing that they mention is projecting into the void. They call it a vast, mysterious area, often with no light, no anything, actually. And they don't really know what it is or why projectors sometimes end up in it, but on occasion you just end up in a void. There's nothing there. There's nothing to be afraid of. And the way to get out of it is just to, well, you can will light, say let there be light, or command light to be there, and there might be light for you. Or you can just focus on your body and just basically end the projection, bring yourself back to your body and start over again. So those are the two things I wanted to cover for tonight. Oh, I had a really interesting dream last night. I had a 5-story mansion, and it was basically my home, and I set it on fire. I started with the lower left corner of the mansion, and then I realized that I had left my clothes inside and I really needed them, so I went around the right side of the mansion and found a staircase and went up to the second floor where I knew that my room was on the left side of the building. Technically the right, but from the way I was facing with the stairs. And I went to the room and it wasn't my room, and I went, oh, geez, maybe that was the third floor. So I went up to the third floor and went to the same place where I thought my room was. Still, it was wrong. So I went up another floor and I was looking at all these other people that were trying to rescue their things out of the mansion, and I was wrong again about the fourth floor, and I decided to go to the center of the mansion, the front, but center, and look out the window, and I was looking over a cemetery. And I thought to myself, you know, I remember looking at this cemetery from my room, and this is the angle that I was at. And I remembered it, and so I went back down to the ground floor, and I had run into some people on the way, and I was telling them, hey, I'm looking for my room, and they were indicating to me that they were more worried about their possessions, and then that was the end of the dream. Then I ended up in another place in dreamland that I go to quite often, which seems to be a hub for a number of different areas. It's kind of like a miniature Grand Canyon, except it's really dark rock and dirt. And I was there, and then suddenly I found myself in a park, and it was very early in the morning, and it was very misty, and I'm floating along, and I'm looking at people that have camped out in this park, and I'm also floating by a sculptor who's created these sculptures of people out of cement and palm husks. So I thought it was a very interesting dream, though, about connecting with the things that we need to bring an end to in our lives. And to me, like, the clothes kind of represent the facade or the superficiality. So I thought it was kind of interesting that I was trying to burn down this thing that I didn't need any longer, and yet was consumed by it once again. So I don't know, kind of interesting. Anyway, gosh, we're almost done. There's like 2 more of these, I think. Anyway, take care.